Hey guys, it's Heaven.
And Nija.
And welcome back to In Herself Podcast,
where we talk about faith, family, finance, and friendship.
So make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications to be aware when we drop a video.
Look at you. We just doing so good.
It's always look at you. That's embarrassing because they know I don't be having it.
No, but you do because you get through it. And I just say faith, family, finance, and friendship.
With the help of the Lord.
Good job, friend.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm good. And you know what's funny? Because I told her before we started this episode, she's spearheading this entire episode because I feel like seeing your growth, seeing you evolve and growing into the person that you know that God has desired you to be makes me smile. So I want you to be able to share your testimony with people out there because, yeah. I know you for a little minute. And so seeing the evolution and seeing the tools that you put in place to get to the place that you are now, and I know there's still more growth, is just a beautiful thing to watch.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
I appreciate that a lot. I definitely have grown a lot over these past almost 10 years that we've been knowing each other. And that's even weird even saying that, like 10 years knowing somebody, right? And a lot of it has been attributed to my desire changing, understanding and seeing life on the other side, seeing life with the possibility of being free in my mind, free in my emotions, free in how I carry myself, free to love, unfiltered, not toxic love or what I thought love was. Having to unlearn and relearn was and is a challenge.
Yeah.
But because my desire outweighs the challenge, it's like I'm up for it. Mm-hmm. And so I started a new book, y'all. Because one thing about it on NSL Podcast, we're going to have a book club. I don't care what Heaven say.
I'm going to read. I just need the audio version.
And they do have the audio version. I'm going to bring it out. So first of all, let me just give some backstory. The book does not look like this now.
Right.
Okay. We might be able to actually drop it, production, what it actually looked like, but it don't look like this. But it's called The Bait of Satan. It's by John Bevere. And when I tell you, I haven't even got all the way into chapter 1 yet. And ideally, it is about being offended and how the enemy uses the bait of offense to control your life. And this happened because I noticed that when I get around certain people, my spirit is uneasy. And I don't like the way that it makes me feel. Like I'm fighting internally, like, what is wrong? Like they haven't necessarily said anything in that situation or that day, but something that I just was not over and I didn't understand or realize that it was a spirit of offense.
Yeah.
And so the way that my energy, my spirit shifts and not want to love on them or not want to be, or tolerate them or just be in the same community or trying to avoid them. Like we're in the same room and I purposely, I'm short, I'm talking to you. Hey, how you doing? That's great. That's good. And I'm on to the next, or I'm very quiet because it's like, I know that something's going on. And I don't want to trigger a conversation.
Right.
That you may say something, but everything you say gonna offend me because I'm not over whatever it was. And so I was in my office one day and I actually called you. I was going through it, crying and everything. You was like, well, maybe you should. I don't want to do that. Like my flesh was so raised until it was just like, I know that how I feel is not okay. I know that how I'm tolerating the situation is not okay. I don't desire to do that, but I don't know another way.
But I think that was the first steps. Like, I know I was telling you, I'm like, people are okay with feeling like that. Like, granted, it doesn't feel good, but once you live in that space for so long, it becomes who you are. Mm-hmm. So when you're in a space of, I don't like how I feel, I know that that's something, the God in you is like, I got to figure out how to knock this out and not stay stagnant in like that. Because those people turn into mean, grudge people, hate the world. That's not how you want to be. You don't desire to be like that.
It's not at all.
Right.
And so because God has been intentional about taking every area of my life This reminds me of a story my mom used to preach about, and she would say, we invite God into our life, right, into our house, but we only want him in the kitchen.
Mm.
We only want him in the living room, but that bedroom, don't touch that.
Mm-hmm.
That bathroom, that attic, I don't need you in there. And he wants the entire house. And so I feel like he's been sweeping my house inside, starting in my marriage, with my children, in business, in friendship. And so now that the things that I desired for him to fix, he's fixing. He's like, but it's an area that you don't want me to get to that I'm going to get to.
Mm-hmm.
It's the area that you don't even know how to fix it. That's what I love about God, is that I didn't know that I was offended. I knew that there was a problem. And here's the thing. Jesus clearly says that we're going to be offended. It's going to happen. What I'm learning is, how do I deal with the offense? What are my reactions to the offense? How do I move forward in love? I don't want to be the Dead Sea where love comes in and it just stays, because my love will grow cold.
Mm-hmm.
You put water that's tea heated up and you sit it in a kettle that's not turned on, that water is going to grow cold. And that's what God was showing me, was like, the love of God in you is growing cold, because when I needed to flow in that area, you can't.
Attention beauty seekers in the Tampa and Riverview area. Are you ready to elevate your beauty game? Our team of skilled makeup artists who specialize in full and natural glams are here to make your beauty dreams a reality. Whether it's for a special occasion or just because, we've got you covered. To book a makeup consultation for your next event, email them at monetthemua@gmail.com. Transform your look, transform your life. Book now with Monet the MUA.
And I desire for it to be the sea that flows from top to bottom. It's continuously. And he showed that to me a couple years ago. Forgiveness is the main artery of your heart. It's what keeps you alive, is forgiveness. The moment in which you stop forgiving, you stop living.
Yeah.
Because you have all this blood backed up inside of you. You have all this love that has no way to be expelled out, because you have a blockage.
But watching you go through your season of figuring out, identifying unidentified offense, I was like, that's really crazy, because I live in offense. Like, I reside there. Like, that is my home. Like, and I don't know where it comes from. And I know we were just talking about me purchasing a book, and of course, everybody know I'm not a reader, but I want it to be authentic. Like, granted, I want God to say, no, now is the time, because I live there, and I don't think I've identified it, yes, within myself. Like I was telling you, I'll get offended and I'll just go home and be like, dang, that really, that really bothered me. That really offended me. But because sometimes I think that it can come off like embarrassing, or why would you get offended because of that? I just don't say it. So I keep it to myself, and I'm like, okay. But every day, it never fails, something or someone is going to offend me.
The power in it is dealing with your offense and not allowing your offense to offend someone else.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think that's where the trigger parts is when we do something to somebody else that is negative, we're doing it because I want you to feel the way that I feel. And so the only way to do that is to snap back. It is to say, it's to do something that you should not have did. And now I go back and say, I apologize, but I'm really not apologetic because I really felt that way. So it's navigating those uncharted waters is what this is about. And so one of the assignments, because I'm telling you, I just started this like a couple days ago, and I'm being very, very slow about it because I don't want to miss a crumb. Like, when I tell you this level, when the Lord spoke to me and was like, this is an area in the house that I want to deal and break every foul thing that is not like me, because it's been lying dormant for a long time.
Yeah.
And it gotta go.
He said, I'm doing a deep cleaning. We're not just going to touch the surface.
This is a deep clean. We're not doing no weekend clean where you go sweep here and you got stuff over there. No, we going from the top to the bottom.
We hitting the baseboards and getting in between them towels.
The grout.
The grout, baby.
Get it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
when he wants the whole house, because that's genuinely, you cannot be your authentic God-given self with the amount of potential that we have. You cannot do that with stuff.
Do you believe that there was a specific like age? Because when I look back, I remember my mom, because I used to get in trouble a lot, and I got in trouble a lot because I was defensive, because I always was offended. Like so my mom used to tell me, you have to humble yourself and just relax sometime. Like sometimes what people are saying to you is not even, they're not saying it to offend you, but you have a trigger within yourself to where you're getting upset because they said something and it ain't even them. It's
how you received it.
It's what your daddy did 5 years ago. It's what your sister did 2 seconds ago, but it's not them. But I guess I'm circling back around. Was there a time where you remember like, okay, when I was 10 years old, from 10 to now is when I feel like I operated in offense, or was it like recent? We are so excited to officially announce that we have launched our Patreon. By signing up, you will become a member of our In Her Circle community.
You'll receive exclusive access to our content that is only available to our Patreons, such as behind the scenes, live discussions, and Discord. But most importantly, first dibs on new merch.
To register, visit our link tree in the bio or the description below. See you at the circle.
Honestly, I feel like offense happened like grains of rice. Like something happened that you kind of like buried, but you buried it and it took root, and then something else happened and then it took root, and then something big happened, and you thought it was that big thing, but it's been going on for years of little things, because again, the Bible says it's the small foxes that spoil the vine.
Right.
It's little things that add to the big things. And y'all say this about me all the time. Like you would say, little things you get upset about, but then it'd be something big we think you're gonna get upset about. You be like, oh, it's okay. And that's attributed to how I was raised. I was raised, big things that happen because of little things that you did not address.
Yeah.
So if I keep letting the little things go, it's going to evolve into something big. If it's big, it's already here. So we might as well just, okay, how we deal with it, keep going on. But if I keep letting you do small things add up to big things. It's like an account. You keep putting $5 in a savings account, eventually it's going to get to 500. Eventually it's going to get to 5,000. Eventually it'll get to 500. It's going to keep growing to that big thing. But somebody drop a lump sum of 500,000 in my account I receive right now in Jesus' name. That's like, oh my goodness, it happened, but how did it get there?
Yeah.
What are the steps to get to that place? So for me, when I was younger, because again, I don't have all the answers right now. I just started this book, but I thought that, okay, one of the assignments was, the first assignment was to write a letter to each person that offended you. And I haven't started yet, but the Lord told me to write down the names. Now, off the top of my head, I said maybe like 2 or 3. You know what I mean? He said, no. Started bringing up specific situations that I thought I was over, and I wasn't. That list is at 13 letters, 15 people, because I'm addressing 2 people in the midst of one of the letters. Praise God. But it was a level, and I shared this with you. I was like, I'm low key embarrassed.
Yeah.
Because what?
Well, I think it's embarrassing. It's not embarrassing. Let me clarify that. I think it sounds embarrassing because you're vocalizing it. And that is the difference. People are going through exactly what you're going through, maybe worse, but they won't speak on it. So they look like they're not going through anything. So it looks like, okay, yeah, I'm chilling, I'm good. The moment in which you vocalize it and no one else is saying it, now it's embarrassing.
Right.
Now it's embarrassing. I mean, I can use something simple of, okay, I'm a child, I pee in the bed. No, we have all done it before. So now it's not embarrassing. It's something that happens. So once you bring it out and say, this is just it's a thing that happens, but this is how I'm dealing with it. Now the next person is going to come out and say, you know what, it was embarrassing to me, but I'm not the only one that's going through it. And that is the difference.
Yeah. And that's exactly the thing. It felt like you got to be joking that you got 13 offenses and you just around here carrying it and everybody else is free. You know what I mean? But because I'm okay with my deliverance, because
Yeah.
I mean what I say, because I know God led me to this journey, because I know I fast and I pray and I said, this gotta go. Show me how to I want to be free. Because when you have a taste of freedom, right? And you're like, I know what it feels like to be free. When you feel bondage again, you're like, what is this?
Right.
I want it off. And because I didn't know how to do it, he said, this is how you start. This is the start of progress, of getting it off of you. And granted, I can definitely, with some of the people I still communicate with right now, I just didn't know that it was still weighing on me to the point because it wasn't addressed. Some have passed away. If we really be honest. I cannot go back to them and say, hey, you offended me. So there has to be a way, there has to be tools for you to get free, even if they never apologize, even if they never know, even if you can never address them directly, it has to be a way for you to get free.
Yeah, because forgiveness is not for them, it's for you.
And honestly, a lot of people in the building that we all worship in, I'm talking about churches around the nation, are filled with offended people.
Yep. The entire church is filled with offended people. You tread lightly when you come to church because you're offended. You don't wear what you want to wear because you're offended. Somebody said you don't even act your full authentic self because you're offended. We have to get free.
We got to get free.
Because we cannot move to the next level in the kingdom if we still are in bondage. It's just not going to be a thing.
And me, I've been in church all of my life, like literally from Baptist to Church of God in Christ to non-denominational, like I have been from level to level. And to identify it as, people have hurt me in the church based off their actions is totally like valid.
Yeah.
In every scenario, in every church that I have attended, right? So we know that offense is going to happen. I think what's missing is that we don't have tools of how to maneuver. It's not enough to just say, pray about it. Because I've been praying. I read my word, but it has to be tangible things that say, how do you address it? And that's why I'm excited about this book. It's because I feel like it's going to dig deep into the meat and potatoes of how to get past it.
Because how do you control when you feel offense arising? How do you settle it? How do you say? Because for me, again, I get offended. Like I feel a ball in the pit of my stomach. Like I literally can feel the offense. But what I do is I
Suppress it.
Some occasions I do. It's just in all honesty, it depends on where I'm at. I do suppress it and I say, okay, because I know the moment in which I let it arise, there's going to be conflict because I will defend heaven till the wheels fall off, get 4 more and defend myself again. So I know that I have to just relax, just calm down, go in the car, go in your home and express to the Lord how that offended you. But I'm just not the type to rah about it because I know the level it can get to.
Calling all new entrepreneurs and business owners. Are you looking to scale your business or plan your next big event? Well, Eva's agency is just for you. Unique systems such as automations, vendor management, and establishing SOPs are just a few services that they offer. But don't forget about event planning. To schedule a free consultation, go to their website at www.evas.agency today. For me, I've noticed that a lot of my offense is because of selfishness. It's because you didn't respond in the way that I wanted you to respond. You didn't say what I wanted you to say. How I was communicating with you, I said it in a way thinking that you would respond this way. And because it wasn't that, I'm offended because why are you not thinking about it like this? Why are you not doing it like this? I'm going above and beyond. Why don't you see my work? Because I'm doing it so that you can acknowledge that I'm doing this for you. And when you don't, I'm offended. That's selfishness.
That is. And so I'll take that because I do that too. I do that too. Or I did this for you. And that's just not the response that I just thought that I was going to get back. And it's like, be serious. Like, people aren't you.
You do all of that, so it made me go back and say, what was my why when I did it? When I went to the store and purchased balloons and purchased a cake and did all these things for your birthday or for anniversary or for a celebration or whatever, or I went above and beyond, in my mind, I'm visualizing what I want your response to be. And so when I do it and it's not that, I'm offended because I took all of this time just for the moment to feel like you appreciated it. And it doesn't mean that you didn't appreciate it at all. What it meant was maybe you had a hard day and you couldn't really acknowledge the fact that the way that you wanted to. Because any other time you probably would have said, oh my goodness, or I appreciate it, or look at the fine details of whatever you did. But your mind is somewhere else.
Yeah. And you can't even really appreciate the fact that, like, appreciate yourself for appreciating others. Like, I don't think that we take the time to even say, wow, I really think like that. I really want to see a smile on your face. But you have just, like, everything that you just did for the person is gone. It's out the window because you're offended because they didn't respond how you, and that could be in any area. I mean, at work, at church, in your friend groups. If you text your friend and you say something and they say okay, and you like,
that was dry.
Well, why you didn't put an AY at the end of the okay? It's like, we find so little minute things to get offended about, and people are on about their day. They don't even know that they offended you, but it's the trigger within you. And that's what I had to realize for myself. Half the time when you offend heaven, it's not the people, it's you. But where I have to still figure out the root of it. I don't know where it comes from, because I don't think anyone else that I know, because people don't talk about it, get offended in the way that I do.
And there's different levels of offense. Like that, what we're talking about is something that happens more often than not. But then you have bigger level of offenses, like you purposely did something to me that caused me to be offended. You talked about me. You ridiculed my name. You dragged me through the mud. You stole my money. Like, it's different. Those are high level of offenses that happen to you. And it's like, granted, you should be offended right by that. But again, how do you process that? Is that causing for you to now create boundaries? So that, especially if you still have to deal with that person, think about the offense of sexual abuse, molestation. You got offended by your uncle, by your dad, by your brother-in-law, by whoever it may have been. Like, that is a level, that's an offense you live with now, especially if they're in close proximity. So you carry that in your marriage. You carry that in the body of Christ, in church. You carry that on your job. So now you're looking at every male a specific way because of the offense that you're carrying. That is a huge offense.
Yeah.
To be raped. So it goes from the bottom all the way to the top. It's going to happen in different capacities. What do you do when it happens?
Yeah. Dealing with the emotion of offense. Yeah. And I think that's an ongoing journey that you're going to forever have to just suppress that, or I don't want to use the word suppress because it's probably not the right thing to do. That's just what I do. But just the journey of when I feel the feeling come up, what do I need to do immediately so that I won't live in that? Because it'll be weeks.
And sometimes it's not even immediate. Sometimes we run from of what it feels like. The reason why I was so agitated is because I wanted it to go away now. I don't want to feel this. I know it's an eerie feeling. I don't even like it. I want to fix it. And sometimes it's acknowledgement to sit in and say, okay, so I definitely acknowledge that I was tried, or that didn't happen the way that I thought, or the way that you said that was very sharp, or the way that you just disrespected me was not called for. But how do I respond to that?
Yeah.
And your process, you have to be okay with your healthy process. If that means removing yourself, if that means taking 2 days to say, I got to get down to the bottom of it, I need to go write it out, or I need to go and pray, or I need to go to the beach or whatever. The issue is when you try to suppress it,
Yeah.
and then something else happens, and then it's okay, I'm suppressing that from the same person.
Yeah.
And then the time that you just snap and they like, well, what did I do to XYZ? And it's like, well, now that you asked, because I've been waiting since 1995.
It's like, please.
That's what
Please.
happens though.
I just know what looks a little bit scarier is, well, for me, is once you identify it, the journey of you know that you're going to be challenged. Like now that the enemy knows that you on his behind, now he's going to work double time to see if he can still win you over with whatever it is that you're going through, but specifically an offense. And so that scares me. Once I realize what it is, it's like, okay, you know you're about to go on a journey for real, right?
And for me, it's excitement.
Yeah.
Because when you said that, what dropped in my spirit is that I am not ignorant to Satan's devices, because God is bigger. And if he has led me to this journey, it's because I have the tools and the answers on the inside of me to reveal, to shed light. The reason why we struggle is because, as you just stated, because nobody else is exposing their offenses so that they can get free from it. It feels like I'm struggling alone. It's in darkness. But the moment in which you shed light on something, it illuminates it. And now I can pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
And so for me, I don't want to be in bondage no more. Like they say, and now I get it, when you're tired of being tired, people said about relationships, I'm talking about just being in bondage in your life where you're not everything God called you to be. Like we are here ambassadors to spread the gospel of Jesus, to expand his kingdom. I cannot do that wounded.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot do that in bondage.
You're going to be bleeding on everybody that the Lord has called you to.
And their offense. I'm offended, you offended, we offended, everybody offended, and now you have, let's agree to disagree.
Yeah.
No, let's agree to what is true and let the truth stand.
Yeah.
And if whoever is wrong, let it identify with all of us so that we can all move forward. How can two walk together except they agree? Do it slowly. It didn't say you couldn't do it. I can agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
How can I agree with you? With the word, with facts, with what is true. It's not about my opinion. It's not about your opinion. Yes, your feelings are valid. Yes, your heart is your heart. But it also said the heart was desperately wicked.
Yeah.
So be careful saying that too.
Yeah. It's a process.
Everything is.
And not rushing to get to, oh, I'm healed, baby. Because the moment in which
I thought so.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, yay.
Yep.
And God was like, yay.
Okay, you tackled that. Okay, now time for something else. Yes. Yeah.
Level to level, glory to glory. But I'm excited. So y'all go get this book with me, and we're going to go on a book journey together. The Lord going to bring heaven along.
Baby got an audio in the back of this. I'm going to text it.
A DVD, y'all. It had DVD.
That's how you know how ancient that book is.
But this book is 20 years old. 20 years. That's how long. It's
because ain't nothing new under the sun. So that's why it's 20 years old.
Offense
and
is still
never gonna die. Telling you. All right. Me.
Oh my God.
No, I'm just joking. In herself, she is loved.
In herself, she is beautiful.
In herself, she is strong. See you next week.
See y'all next week.